Hello, welcome back to Armchair Art. Let me just check to make sure that my sound is right. I think so. I think we're good. Hello, welcome back to Armchair Armory. And it just finished at the Emirates Stadium in the third round of the FA Cup. After full time and extra time, Arsenal won, Manchester United won. And then in the penalty shootout, it finished Arsenal 3, Manchester United 5. Therefore, we are out of the FA Cup at the first hurdle for the third season in a row, which is very, very disappointing. The main takeaway from this game is essentially that we handed them the game. We handed them the initiative. Essentially, we had chances to win. Diogo Dallo got sent off after an hour for a second yellow. We had plenty of chances to kill off the game. We had plenty of opportunities to kill off the game. And in situations like this, where you've got an extra 30 minutes of football and a penalty shootout, you're just giving the opposition more and more opportunity to get back into it. And I know a lot of the criticism is going to be laden at Kai Havertz's door because he did miss a few chances and he missed the only penalty of our 3 penalty takers, or 4 penalty takers, I should say. But yeah, very, very disappointing. I think this is the maybe 4 out of 5 times we've not gone past the third round in Arteta's tenure. Not for the want of trying. I'm not going to sit here and say it was a poor performance or anything like that. I thought that for the most part we played well. It's just again that not quite as similar to Newcastle, but I felt like we were. Apologies if you could hear my dishwasher go in there. It just felt as if, like, again, every time we got into a position where we should score, we didn't. And when players should be in a position to score, when a set piece came in or something like that, they weren't there. So it's a further indicator that we need a forward player. Gabriel Jesus went off injured. I think it's a pretty bad one because he was carried off on a stretcher and he was covering his face with his shirt. And normally when players do that, they know they're fucked pretty much. So yeah, we need to spend some money because this is getting ridiculous now. Man United were there for the taking. We didn't take that opportunity, and this is kind of what happens in these extra time penalty sort of games, that you let the opposition back in by taking it that far into the tie. I suppose the positive is there's one less game now. There's one less competition, but then obviously the big negative is that that's another trophy that we could have gone for that we can't go for now that we're out. And as I keep saying, and as I've said quite a lot over the past few months, I think this is what the manager Arteta is going to be judged on this season, because obviously it's been 5 years since he won the FA Cup back in 2020 in his first half season, in that half season when he came in, and we've sort of faltered at every hurdle when it comes to other trophies. Sometimes in a blaze of glory, and sometimes just with a whimper. I wouldn't necessarily, again, going back to the performance, I wouldn't necessarily say that we were like poor, and I wouldn't go as far as to say that we went out in a blaze of glory, but I felt like we did give everything. There was a little bit of fight there. It felt like we were trying to go for it, just for some reason the quality wasn't there. We did very well to get back into the game. It was a pretty mediocre first half from both teams, I would say. I think again, Ruben Amorim came to the Emirates with the similar game plan of what he had in the league game in November or in early December, where it was basically defend for your lives and catch them on the break, which even not under Amorim, Man United have been doing at the Emirates for a long time. And came out second half, poor defending by Gabriel, allowed Garnacho through. He didn't control the ball. Gabriel didn't control the ball well enough, so it ricocheted off of him and fell into the path of Garnacho. Garnacho threw on goal. and lays the ball off for Bruno Fernandes's brilliant finish. 1-0 Man United. You're thinking, yeah, it's an uphill struggle from here, but we've still got plenty of time. Diogo Dalot gets sent off. We get a corner shortly after that. Ball comes down to Gabriel, gets a ricochet off Matthias de Ligt, 1-1. After that, we have, as I said, we have had a plethora of chances that we should have buried. Trossard's probably the worst of all of them, I'd say. I wouldn't say that Havertz had the worst chances that he should have buried, but yeah, there was one where the goal was open. We also got a penalty, which was incredibly soft. That was shortly after going. It was about 5 or 6 minutes after we pulled it back to 1-1. Very soft penalty, I'd have to say. Like, even as an Arsenal fan, I'd say, yeah, I'd feel pretty hard done by if that was against us. Maguire on Havertz. Ødegaard steps up, and Bayindir, their substitute goalkeeper, he scores. He saves the penalty. He actually, as I mentioned earlier, he saved Havertz's penalty in the penalty shootout. Still had a plethora of chances throughout the remainder of the second half and throughout extra time. We just didn't take advantage. Goes to penalties, and it's a lottery at the end of the day. We always say that it's a lottery, but I just had a feeling when I woke up today that we weren't going to win this game. I thought that more in 90 minutes. I thought they would do what they did against City and sort of nick it 2-1 with an Ahmad goal, like looping it over Raya or something like that. But this is just as bad. It's just as bad as a result. But for some reason, I just had a feeling. I don't know why. It might be because it's that whole conspiracy I have about playing the same teams more than twice in a season. I don't know, but I just had this feeling that we weren't gonna do it today. Also, because normally, and this is a negative of the Arteta tenure, is that every time we seem to lose a game, we seem to go on sort of a plethora of losing. We seem to go on I need to stop using that word. We go on a bulk of losing a couple of games. And there will be a lot of fans out there now that will say, well, we're out of 2 competitions in a week, which I don't necessarily think is an Arteta thing. I think that's just an Arsenal thing. That's happened even in the days of Wenger. That used to happen. We're theoretically out of the Carabao Cup. There is still a chance we could do something. It is still another 3.5 weeks until we play them again at St James's Park, but I just can't see us turning a 2-0 deficit down unless we manage to get it to extra time and penalties. So, we're theoretically, it's all but over, in the words of James McNicholas on Gunner Blog from The Athletic. It's all but yeah. So technically, you could say we're out and a half out of 2 cup competitions. We only have the Champions League and the Premier League left, and the Premier League isn't looking good at the moment, with quite a few hard games coming up over the next few weeks. We've got Spurs on Wednesday, which I'll be doing a preview for, which will be going out on hopefully on Monday, if not Tuesday. Then we got Villa, then Wolves away, and then City at home in early February in the league. And then in the Champions League, we've got a home tie against Dynamo Zagreb, and then Girona away as our final league phase game. So all I can say to leave you is that the North London derby, we've got to turn it around. We've got to start again, and we've got to turn it around, and hopefully we'll see some sort of movement in the transfer window over the next week or so, because like now Gabriel Jesus is out, Nwaneri's out, Saka's out. We don't know how long Gabriel Jesus is going to be out for. The club have to do something. They have to support I'm stuttering. The squad is so bare thin at the moment. We need to do something, and if we don't, then it's just cutting your nose off to spite your face, and it's going to leave us in a terrible position for the rest of the season, I would say. I shudder to think what platforms like AFTV and X and all that sort of stuff are right now, because I can imagine there's the French Revolution going on, that there'll be people calling for the manager's head and things like that, which is fair enough. That's your opinion. I don't think it's a performance to be saying that somebody should be sacked or players should be sold or whatever. I think we actually played all right. It's just that we weren't clinical enough. We didn't take our chances, and we got punished in the end because, the universe is kind of against you when you've had everything going your way and you take it all the way to a penalty shootout. I just knew as soon as it went to penalties, I was like, United are going to win this. And then when Havertz stepped up, I thought of all the players, it will probably be him that will miss. No disrespect to Havertz or anything like that, but I just had this feeling that Havertz was going to miss. Oh well, it is what it is. I'm going to try and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. As I say, I'll be back previewing Spurs hopefully tomorrow, if not Tuesday. But yeah, like and subscribe. Take care and stay safe.